Okay, I think it's not going to let me do it um, sideways. So I guess that's fine. Oh my gosh, I was just live. Can you guys confirm, please, if you can hear me? I was just live and I was talking for like 10 minutes and nobody could hear me. Okay, let me just check on my laptop. I'm so sorry. If you're watching this in the replay, you can just skip forward, but I really want to make sure you can hear me. Okay, checking it on my laptop. Hello? Oh, I think there is sound now. Oh, yay! Okay, oh my god, I'm so sorry. All the people that I was live with, they could not hear me for like 10 minutes straight. I feel so terrible about that, but we're learning. We're just gonna learn from this. I was trying to stay focused and not look at the chat because I always get distracted easily. But lesson learned. Check in the beginning if people can hear me. But okay. Okay, so starting over. So, okay, so starting over. So, hi. Oh my god, I'm so glad you're back. I saw you in the other, you said hi in the other live. Hi. Is your name Mansi Rani? Hello. Okay, so starting over, take two. So I was sharing about my story and my background. And if you clicked on this video of why you sabotage the love that you crave, I feel like my story from my childhood is gonna help you realize or become aware of why we start to sabotage the love that we crave, the connection that we crave, the unconditional love that we desire due to our childhood and what we went through. So in my childhood, as I was sharing before, I grew up, I was born and raised in Egypt, and I lived in a very chaotic household. I experienced a lot of physical violence, and not only for me, but for my siblings and my mom. There was a lot of chaos going on. And to top it off, I also experienced, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this word, I don't want them to take the video down, but I also experienced SA. If you're not sure what that is, I can try to say it. I just don't want them to take the video down, but hopefully you understand what that is. And so my entire childhood was associating, like I grew up, sometimes my dad would be loving and sometimes he would be very violent, aggressive, chaotic. He almost, like, we don't have therapy in Egypt, like that was not a thing, but he had these bipolar tendencies. He would sometimes show up in like a loving way, and sometimes he'd be like screaming, yelling, hitting my brother, hitting my mom. He would be like going crazy. And so I grew up associating so much of that. Let me make sure I'm actually checking the chat now. Oh, thank you so much. Brooklyn said, "You're so pretty. I love your content." Thank you. I'm so happy to have you here. But so back to what I was saying is that I just grew up in a very like chaotic environment where I started to associate so much of like unconditional love or just love in general with danger, with uncertainty. It's like, well, I don't know when the other shoe's gonna drop. And it was a lot of walking on eggshells. And so later on, moving forward, we actually had to leave Egypt in the middle of the night because there was a point, I remember this memory very vividly, when my dad threatened to unalive my grandpa. Like, he was that insane. Like, he was going through something. There was some type of chemical imbalance. There was even wounds from his own childhood, I'm sure. And So he threatened to do that. And so we were like, okay, we need to get the heck out of here. We had to leave in the middle of the night so that we wouldn't alert him. At that point, he wasn't even living with us anymore. Like there were points where I don't even have like vivid memories because I'm sure like experiencing something like that, my mind has blocked out so much of it. But I think my grandpa would kick him out at a certain point and he wasn't living with us. But there was a time when they, like my grandpa just paid for our tickets to come to the US and we told no one. We didn't tell our friends, we didn't tell anyone that we knew anything at all about where we were going. We didn't even mention anything. We just literally left, went to the airport middle of the night and went to the US for like many, many years before ever going back. And we had to do that to protect ourselves because if my dad actually found out, he would have come after us and tried to stop us. That's why we didn't tell anyone. And it was a very small town where people talk and everyone knows each other. So fast forward to my teenage years, I go through like two cringy relationships. I actually met my fiance in high school and we were friends for 2 years. And it was a little bit after those two like awkward relationships that I had. When we think back to the relationships we had, we're like, what were we thinking? Like, it was just very, I don't know, it was very cringy. So, fast forward to like later in high school, my fiance and I are best friends. We start to talk a lot, we start to get closer, and we go on to college, and then this is when we start dating. And I start to notice something, and I start to like notice it now in hindsight, but I didn't know that's what was happening in like at the time because I knew nothing about this. I knew nothing about attachment styles. I was very entrenched in it, very deep in it. I was like, I don't know what the hell's going on. I just feel confused. Like when this person pulls away, I'm like all of a sudden I'm like trying to get their attention and trying to fix something, and then when they get closer I'm like I pull back. So I had no idea what the heck was going on. I was very confused for the longest time, but I made my relationship also like my entire life, and it got to a point, I think we dated for 2 years and ended up breaking up. He broke it off with me, and I'm so freaking grateful. Like I'm so glad that that happened because like I said, I was making that whole relationship like my entire life, and I wasn't actually pursuing things that I wanted to pursue. I wasn't like exploring anything else that I was interested in, and I was just going all in on this relationship and making it my entire focus. And so he broke it off, and literally that shattered my heart open. It opened like when your heart, when you go through heartbreak, it shatters your heart to where now, like at the time I was so like sad and so like just deep in grief about this because I never thought this would even happen. I never thought, naive, very naive from a very young age, like that I at that age that I thought we will never break up, we'll be together forever. And we are still together now, but at the time it was like the relationship wasn't healthy. How in the world did I think like we're going to be together forever? Like some things need to change. And that's why I'm so grateful that we broke up, because when we broke it off, my heart literally became open, and I started my friend gave me this book. I don't remember what it was, but I think it was by the author Miguel Ruiz. It was like, I think that's his name, and it was a book about relationships. And that was my first introduction to personal development. And I was like, my eyes were like open. Like I said, my heart was already like shattered and it opened, and it was like open to new information, new way of seeing things, new ways, like exploring new things. And I was like, oh my God, like where has this been my entire life? I can't believe I've been living my life like this, so unaware. And this is when I started to have more of like the self-awareness and like noticing my patterns, noticing my triggers. And fast forward, like we both still wanted to be together. He was going through his own thing, I was going through my own thing, and I think we both needed to kind of deal with that separately. Then we came back together. We were still friends. We were like, because we still wanted to be together. So we were still talking in that phase. I don't know if that's healthy or not, but that's what happened. I'm so glad it happened. We were still talking here and there, and we were still friends. We just weren't dating. And so I was exploring my own thing on the side. He was working through his own thing. And then I think a year later, we were like, should we get together again? Like, why did we even break up? Like, we were both in a different headspace. And so we got back together. And from there, I felt like even though that breakup needed to happen, something in me was kind of struggling to trust him again, because it opened up old wounds of, like, can I trust him? I never thought this would happen. I never thought he would break up with me. Can I trust him again? Can I open up my heart again? Can I allow love in again? And it opened up old wounds that where it was already associated with love, was associated with uncertainty and with a lack of trust, and it was associated with danger. Now that that happened, it was like, oh well, it was proof that I couldn't trust it. It was proof that it is uncertain. I don't know what's going to happen. And it's true, like, we can't really control what someone else feels, and we can't control any of that, so that is true. But it, like, he wasn't showing me any way where he wasn't sure about the relationship. Like, he was committed to the relationship. I just didn't know if I could allow myself to do that again. And there were ways where things were, maybe sometimes there was inconsistency, and so we had to have the conversation. I had to have the conversation of saying, and I feel like for us as women, we really need consistency, especially if we associate love with uncertainty, with danger, and all of these things. Our feminine energy thrives on feeling safe in the relationship to be able to open up. And so if there's a lot of inconsistency, we may not feel safe in opening up. And so I had the conversation with him, and I said, like, there is a reason that it's hard for me to open up. I really need to start seeing more consistency from you. And the funny thing is, like, we think it's always the other person, but he started being so consistent to the point where it literally scared me. I'm like, I have no freaking excuse now. And guess what happened? My mind started coming up with all of these things. It's like, oh, we don't have the same interests. We don't have the same hobbies. I don't know if I'm attracted to him, even though I literally got with him because I was attracted to him. I am attracted to him, but the mind is so interesting. And this is how we start to sabotage the love that we crave when it shows up. And because subconsciously we associate it with danger, with uncertainty, with things that we experienced in the past, we literally start to, oh my god, I lost my train of thought. I'm so sorry. Give me a second. Let me take a sip and see what you guys. Oh, you guys are so sweet. That's funny. Burke said Cleopatra chasing the American dream. Thank you. Okay, what was I saying? Oh my god, I'm so sorry, I lost my train of thought. But anyway, so, like, I want you to see that your mind, because it's so scared of the love, it's so scared of, like, opening up and being vulnerable and sharing what's actually on your heart and allowing someone in, it will start to make up all kinds of ways to protect you, all kinds of things that are wrong with that person. They're like, they're chewing wrong, like, they're chewing in a weird way. We don't like the same things. We don't have the same hobbies. I don't like this about them. I don't like that about them. This is why in the dating world right now, like, people literally get into, I don't even know if they get into relationships anymore or if it's just always dating. Like, they get into a relationship and then realize, like, oh, I don't like the way they chew. I don't like the way they like go to sleep or something. Like, I don't like the way they walk. I don't like this and this and that. And these are all just ways of trying to protect yourself from real love. And I'm not saying, like, this is accurate for every relationship, but in the instance I'm actually referring to is when you are in a relationship where the person is loving, they are committed, you guys have the same values, you have a similar lifestyle. None of that other crap, surface level stuff matters. Like, people's music taste changes. My music taste has changed so much over the years. My looks have changed. I mean, for the better, but I don't know what's gonna happen in the future. Like, we all age, and, like, it's so crazy to me that I was thinking about that stuff back then, because all that stuff changes. the things that I was saying, we don't have the same hobbies. My hobbies have changed so many times, and so has his. So, how is it that we're gonna base who we spend our lives with, who we love, based on such surface level things? We can't. And it really is a protecting, like, it's just a protection mechanism. It's just a way to keep yourself safe so you don't have to open up. There was a certain point in my relationship where, and I like, from working with clients, I know this is true for a lot of people, that you have a hard time expressing how you feel, expressing even affection, expressing like wanting to hug your partner, but then stopping yourself because it's like, well, I don't want to show him like that part of me because what if I get hurt? I don't want to show affection. I don't want to tell him, like, I don't want to say a compliment. And I literally used to feel that. Like, I would feel something pull me back from saying a compliment, from hugging him. I would be thinking about it all day long, where I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see him. I can't wait to hug him. And then when it came to it, I was like, what I was feeling inside wasn't what was being expressed externally at all. It was like this wall that was here. It just really a protection mechanism. It was like this wall that would show up, and I would just show up in a very monotone way. Be like, oh, you're home. Like, and inside what I'm feeling is like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited, you're finally home. I missed you. Like, that's how I felt. And then what I would express externally, I'm like, what? Like, okay. I was like, hey, that's it. And so I just realized that there was something there. Like, there was something stopping me from expressing my, like, and there, I would get lump in my throat. My heart would feel closed off. Like, there were so many different areas in my body where it felt so tight and tense, because that is where we hold our trauma, our emotions that we haven't processed from the past. And I realized from going through my training, my psychosomatic training, that so much of what I went through and so many of the emotions that I wasn't allowed to express and didn't know how to express now became trapped in my body. And when these things become trapped in your body, it's really hard to speak your mind. It's really hard to show affection. You feel tightness in your body because your body is holding that emotion still to this day in your body, whether it's in your hips, in your stomach, in your womb, in your throat, in your heart, wherever it is, in your shoulders. Like, I had chronic back pain for the longest time because I was holding so much of that in my body. And still literally expanding on this and like alchemizing all of these things in my body. But it's real. It's real. These things get stored in your fascia. And emotions want to be expressed. Emotions want to be mobilized. They want to move through your body. And so often, for this attachment style particularly, or for if you've been experiencing these kind of patterns in your relationship, so often it is coming from, oh my God, why do I keep losing my train of thought again? Okay, give me 1 second. This is so funny. I have not gone live in a while. I feel like it definitely, like, I need to practice it more. I'm definitely gonna be practicing this more. Right, okay, so this is so relevant, by the way, because it's so funny. Okay, so you when you have such negative associations with love, and you weren't taught how to express your emotions or weren't allowed to, and these things are held in your body, you start, like, you feel your emotions and then you're like, no, I don't want to feel this. You start to avoid your emotions. You start to avoid discomfort. You start to avoid, because, like, you don't know what's gonna happen next. If I feel like, let me know in the chat actually, like, if you've experienced this, where you experience the feeling of being scared, you experience the feeling of connection, you experience love, you experience something, whether it's positive or negative, and a part of your body just retreats. A part of your body just doesn't want to go there. It wants to kind of collapse around it. It doesn't want to see it. It's like, let's distract ourselves. Let's go scroll on TikTok. Let's go eat something. Let's go watch TV. and it's still in your body, it's still sitting there, but it feels too difficult to sit with. And so it's best to just ignore it, because we don't know what it's going to tell us to do. We don't want to look at it because we're afraid, what will it mean? What will we have to do if we actually look at this emotion? Will we have to change something? I want to hear you guys' like experience in the chat. Like, have you ever experienced this where you're literally so scared you just avoid the thing altogether so that you don't have to feel the emotion? And why I say this is relevant is because I haven't live streamed in so long. And before coming on here, like I feel like I enjoy this so much more than recording videos, but I was feeling so scared of coming on here and just doing this live. And I was like, okay, you know what? I'm feeling scared. I'm gonna sit with it. I'm gonna allow it to be here. Whereas before, I would just like push it away, be like, okay, we're not doing that because it's scary. And what often happens is that when you're avoiding so much of your life, you're avoiding so many things in your life because you don't want to feel the emotion because it's uncomfortable, we literally shrink ourselves down. We shrink ourselves down by avoiding the things that feel uncomfortable. But what if it wasn't just about like avoiding that, but about learning to do the thing while you are scared? Because before getting on this live, I was so scared to show up live, having not done it for a long time. But I just sat with that emotion rather than just avoiding it. And I chose to show up anyways. I chose to show up scared. I chose to show up excited. I chose to show up nervous. And I've made a decision that that doesn't get to stop me. And same thing in my relationship. Like, if I'm feeling like something come up, I'm not going to let that stop me. And I want the same thing for you guys. I don't want you to be living your life from a place where you feel like you have to avoid life, you have to avoid people, you have to avoid going out in public or being in a relationship, and actually allowing yourself to be loved because you're scared of the emotion, you're scared of the sensation. Because you're going to end up in a place where you're like these are the things that I wanted, but I didn't allow myself to have them because they were too scary. And this is what I mean when I say that we need to work with the trapped emotions. Because oftentimes there's if you've never worked with them before and you haven't gone through the experience of working even with someone like a professional who knows how to help you navigate through this, you will continue to avoid this. I've done all the mental work out there. I've done mindset work, but it didn't really help me. Like, I needed to be able to process this on a body level and have the tools to be able to do this. And what I realized is that these things don't actually just show up in only relationships. It shows up in every other area of life. Exactly like the example I mentioned with YouTube. If I allowed that emotion to control my actions, if I allowed that feeling of being afraid, of being nervous to show up on here, like stop me from showing up, I would be living my entire life that way too. I would allow a lot of things that scare me keep me from doing the things I want to do. And what I want to invite you guys into, I had made the course Safe to Be Loved, but I felt like I felt like I needed to be live with you. I needed to walk you through this. And so I created a new course called Stop Sabotaging the Love You Crave. And it literally has everything. It's not actually a course because I'm going to be going live with it with you. And it's going to be actually you can check out the link down below. It's going to be a 30-day experience where we meet weekly live, and there's going to be recorded content. There's going to be practices that you can start doing. You have all the tools that you need to start actually knowing how to process these emotions. And the more and more you start to process these emotions, the less heavy you start to feel in your body. The more you will actually notice in yourself that you're able to express yourself freely. that you're able to sit in the discomfort, because the entire point is not to just avoid the thing that scares you. It's to feel the fear, feel the connection, feel whatever it is that you are scared of, and do it anyways and show up anyways. And that is exactly what I'm going to be walking you guys through in that 30-day container. And if you want to check that, it is down below. The link is down below. I would love, love, love to have you in there. And I want to hear if you guys have any questions about it. If you want to check it out while we're here. Actually, let me put the link in the chat. So the price is going to be going up gradually. It is right now on an early bird price if you guys want to check that out. But it is going to be going up slowly. I haven't decided yet when the final price will set, but it is going to be going up slowly, probably without a warning. So just wanted to let you know about that. Hang on, let me just grab the link real quick. And I want you guys to look through it right now. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them while we're here. But let me put the link first before I start talking. Like I said, I get distracted very easily. Okay, I guess it's also still for me. So I'm gonna stay live here with you guys, just in case you have any questions. If not, I hope everything that I said made sense and you saw how it kind of lined up and how everything kind of like everything from my childhood led up to me struggling so much in relationships. Because like I was so confused for the longest time. I even read the book Attached, which is about attachment styles. And even that didn't help me, because I feel like people focus a lot on avoidant attachment and they focus a lot on anxious attachment. But how this shows up together in one dynamic is so different than the description of each one. And I was so confused for the longest time until I realized, oh my God, this is what is going on. And when you become aware of it, that is the first step. But then in the moment, when you're in that survival state and your body takes over, that is a whole other level. That is a whole other level, because it like, you can be aware of something, you can like know something is going on, and you know what it is, and you even know the pattern, and you know what's playing out, but your body takes over, and that is a way faster response than what your logical mind can actually like act on in the moment. I've made videos about this on this channel, that you can be aware of something, but your instincts and your emotional body is always going to act first until we actually alchemize what's there. And we change that association, and we change the story. Oh my gosh, I'm in the right place. I'm so glad. Okay, so anyways, I think you guys don't have any questions, so I'm gonna let you go. The link is also gonna be in the description as well, so feel free to check that out. Like I said, the price is gonna go up. I am not sure when yet. I'm gonna leave it for 7 days, and then it will go up gradually to the full price. So it was so amazing being with you here. I'm actually gonna start going live a lot more, so I look forward to seeing you guys there. And I will see you either inside the course or inside the next video. All right, bye.